this lockdown, the government promised no one would be left behind, least of all those on the streets. Evictions were banned and thousands of rough sleepers were given temporary housing. But now, amidst a second English shutdown and the winter months, thousands, many of them young people, are slipping through the cracks.
The first part of coronavirus was all closed. They just shut down everything. I wasn't able to pay my rent. Even though I was homeless, I was still working because it was the only way I could survive, because I couldn't survive on job centre money. I got back into work. I worked last about 3 weeks ago. I worked for 2 weeks, and then that's it. They said the coronavirus coming back in. They don't want anyone. They're closing. But I'm not a bad person. But if some of these charities didn't come out and help us, I would turn to crime as a way to feed myself. They're trying to tell us we're not allowed to be in groups of more than 3 or 6. But to be honest, we're better off in groups. We feel more safe when we're together and we do things together. Let's go get food together. Let's walk here together. Let's sleep together. It's more warmer.
Since April, more than 90,000 people have been close to homelessness across the UK. Of those, almost half have been left without a roof over their heads. In the capital alone, rough sleeping among young people has risen by nearly 50% in a year. And youngsters between 16 and 25 now account for 11% of homeless people in London. Charities say younger people are at risk due to the unstable nature of their work, such as hospitality and often chaotic living situations. Overcrowded accommodation, COVID restrictions that have limited so-called sofa surfing, and even illegal evictions have all contributed to this startling trend.
During the first time in April, the streets were empty. But now, I've never seen so many people without homes, sleeping or queuing up for food in the West End of London. There's a lot more younger people, aged between 16 and early 20s. And at one time when I was on the streets, people were involved in drugs, they were involved in alcohol, and there was that element. But nowadays, people are getting evicted right now, and they're ending up where they can only go. There's nowhere else for them to go, especially this lockdown. There's people going to die on the streets of London because of this government's cack-handed planning, the oversight and no consideration for the people that are living on the streets of London through no fault of their own, who will die on these streets.
The government says it is taking action to address rough sleeping during the lockdown, particularly over the coming months.
This week we confirmed that bailiff enforcement action will not be permitted during the national restrictions or over the Christmas period, except in the most serious eviction cases, such as those involving antisocial behaviour. This builds on existing protections, including 6-month notice periods and new court rules, meaning judges will prioritise the most serious of cases. We have also taken action to prevent people getting into financial hardship by helping businesses to pay salaries, extending the furlough scheme and boosting the welfare safety net by over £9 billion.
But it seems these youngsters with more complex needs aren't being caught in that safety net. And with the nights drawing in, many could be set for a long, cold winter.